little bit of maybe.
Dumb bad shit to feel good. Now in every hood. F the other side.
More what?
More lock.
Finally, half a day later, door is closed, heater's on. So for complete visibility of how much of an idiot I am, what we did find out is probably the reason that the gearbox didn't have a very happy time is when I installed all the fancy £1 million gearbox, I didn't realise that I had to kind of calibrate this vernier to the crank perfectly. So we're going to have to whip the bell housing off, take the clutch off and put a dial gauge on the flywheel itself, reinstall the bell housing and then run round it to make sure that it's actually perfectly central to the crank. We can adjust it here because HGT are quite thoughtful like that and make it an adjustable vernier. Then you can get the alignment right and I won't be doing input shaft bearings like I had done this season. But it gives us a good chance to take the clutch apart, check how that is, clean up some of the rust from where it's been sat, just make it all nice and fresh and make sure we don't go out and spit a clutch out at round one. This has been the first season using an extreme clutch. It's going to be quite interesting to take it apart and see what sort of condition it is in after it's had a full season's worth of death. Disastrous. So next stage we're at with yeah, we have sat around and kind of minced about wobbly sausage. So basically we put a dial gauge on the crank, come out here and we'll measure to this vernier and then turn the engine by hand and measure the datum points around here to see which way this needs to shift. Sounds simple. This is amazing.
It's not amazing. Get
How does it fit?
It doesn't.
How's the new tool, John?
Your new editing software is going to take you ages to bleep all these out of the I'm only doing this for the camera. You were meant to give up. I'd already zeroed it.
Oh, have you?
Yeah. I was expecting you just to go a little clip.
These are the efforts that we're going to.
Steady. Whoop. A little bit more. Whoop. Somewhere. Whoop. Back a touch. Like literally cool. If one whole lap is 1 mil, no, if one whole lap of the gauge is 1 mil, so if that's if one whole turn is 1 mil, that's 0.1 of a mil, yeah? Which we now have 86 there and there. So we are perfectly in the center. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, nearly. Touch. Yep. So that is now 68. So 100 minus 68 is 32, divided by 2 is 16, plus 68, so 84 is where I need to move that to. He's looking at me like I really want to work that maths out, but I also don't care enough at the same time. He seems to know what he's doing. What did I just say, 84?
Well, it's the morning after the night before. We have some better lighting, that's blinding. We're just gonna run everything round again, recheck all our measurements, and then determine whether it's good to go or not.
A little bit more. Oh. Yep.
Yeah, so there's just a little, there's like the tiniest bit of ovaling.
Yeah. But remember that 6 is 0.06 of a millimetre and it's being measured at 45 degrees, so that's actually 0.03 of a millimetre wider.
And the tolerance side to side is 0.025, so if the tolerance is the same each side due to the ovaling, then we should be all good. Next up, John's going to do some manly things like welding my wonky ass chassis. So he's going to enjoy being manly. I'm going to do the automotive equivalent of basically painting my nails. I'm putting these bad boys together. Now, it's been something I've been working on for a while. Found some poorly old equips, got them polished up locally. Something I've always wanted to try and do is run equips front and rear, but obviously with the Wisefab offset, running dished wheels at the front's a bit of a problem. But I think I found the right offset fronts that, with the existing barrels they came with, have had cleaned up and coated, and new lips from VR, the offset and fitment should just about work with the Wisefab front and clear the existing brake calipers. So, fingers crossed, here goes. The levels of satisfaction with this many shiny bolts is incredible. A little bit of sneaky trick time. I watched a few videos about rebuilding 3-piece rims on YouTube, and they seem quite straightforward. Bolt them all together, run a bead of sealant around the gaps, try and seal the air, but it's not always that guaranteed. So what we did on the last set of equips that we built was run a small bead of RTV around the edges, get the centre lip on, put the centrepiece, and then run that RTV around here again where the shoulder of this will meet. And that then means when you bolt it all down, it actually squeezes a little bit of RTV in between all these gaps, which gets a seal that when people are smashing tyres on and off, they're not going to stick a tyre lever in and chip a bit of it and give you a leak in your 3-piece rims. So far all season the rears have been fine, tyres have been changed quite a few times. I think we'll do alright, so fingers crossed I can do the same again with the fronts.
Misunderstood, dumb bad shit to flip. Reputation ringing out in every hood. That's why I'm like FD off the side. Eyes realize all those real lines. My voice sends chills, love to those in the session. My mind is listening, you know you get my blessing. Meet me on the other side, M1. I fucked up this verse, but I'm on one. Meet me on the other side, M1. I fucked up this verse, but I'm on one. That's why I'm FD off the side. Real eyes realize all those real lines. They made me hustle, but the night we play. They made me hustle, but the night we play. They made me hustle, but the night we play. Dumb bad shit to feel good. Now in every hood. FD off the side. I don't wait for the truth. Misunderstood. Dumb bad shit to feel good.
Just even more smoke coming out the inside.
The question we're wondering at the moment is, does John set fire to my car for the second time in a year by fixing it? Apparently most people seam weld their cars or stitch weld their cars before they start using them in competition. We've decided that because I can't drive a straight car, we're going to seam weld it after I've bent it.
Reputation ringing out in every hood. That's why I'm like FD.
So if all goes to plan with the RTV, once you've bolted everything up and torqued it all, you see you get a nice even seal each side of the centre of the three-piece, so the face is nicely sealed the whole way around. So we'll still run some silicone bead like most people do along these grooves, but this means that
Press record, it helps. Something about wheels fit, Ollie's a tard, bling.
yeah.
Ford. Okay.
We can do. It's going to piss fluid out. I don't care.
What's going to piss fluid out? Why would it piss fluid out? Well, yeah, loads of clearance with no tyre on.
I'm imagining a tyre.
Who would think that 17-inch wheels with the same tyres would have the same clearance after you... Yeah.
We can fit something in there. Not a lot, but it doesn't touch.
Can't fit GoPro in there.
I don't think John filmed enough of the fitment. I mean, does that fitment measure? No. Yeah. Much slack. Many cambers. Needs to be on the deck with actual tyres on, but for now.